السلام عليكم ورحمة الله شيخنا تسمعني؟ تسمعني شيخنا؟ إن شاء الله أراكم بارك الله فيكم ولكن ما أسمعكم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف حالكم اليوم؟
حياكم الله يا مرحبا.
نبدأ إن شاء الله.
بسم الله، الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته واهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، حياكم الله أيها الإخوة, dear brothers and sisters. You are welcome to this session, which is on the 8th of Ramadan 1441 of the Hijrah calendar, corresponding the 1st of May 2020. Today we want to talk about a very important topic, especially for you at these moments, as you guys are waiting for, inshallah, the iftar time. And this hadith, or this topic we are talking about, is in relation to this time from 2 points. One is that it is the last hours of Friday, and the second point is that it is a day of Ramadan in which you are fasting, and both are occasions for acceptance of dua. So one needs to focus on dua from this moment until the sunset, until he breaks his fast, and make dua. And as we have fiqh of priorities, which, as I said, now this time the priority in it is dua. It's not reading Quran, it's not doing any other job, but it is dua, focusing on dua. And also we have fiqh of dua. We have to learn the fiqh of dua, meaning what dua should we make? And the best dua is that which is short in wording and covers everything of what you want. The like of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in the Quran. Like the saying of Allah, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, give us in this world life a good, and give us in the hereafter a good, and protect us from the fire. The good that Allah Ta'ala the good that Allah Ta'ala give you in this dunya, it can cover everything: health, wealth, keeping self and children safe, increasing in iman, in knowledge, in everything, happiness in everything. And the good that Allah Ta'ala gives you in the akhirah, it covers your security on the day of resurrection. It covers gaining the intercession of Rasulullah, drinking from his lake, being shaded by the shade of the throne of Allah, crossing the Sirat as fast as the lightning, and getting in the highest levels of Jannah, and protecting from the fire. That means protecting from all the causes in dunya that make you end up in the fire, meaning protect you from committing the sins in dunya. And also it means in the akhirah, protecting from the fire, protecting from the punishment of those sins. and whoever is protected from the fire, then he is the winner. This is one dua that Allah Ta'ala taught us in the Quran to keep saying. And the other dua is what also Allah Ta'ala taught us in the Quran to say, رَبَّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Oh my Lord, forgive me and my parents and bestow mercy on them as they have took care of me when I was little child. That is, of course, if your parents are Muslim, alive or dead, and if they are non-Muslim and they are alive, you focus on making dua for them that Allah Ta'ala guide them to Islam. But if they died as kuffar, then you don't do any dua for them. Another dua that Allah Ta'ala taught us in the Quran as well is what Nuh alayhi salam said, and this all from the, as we call it, Jawami' al-Dua. Dua that is short in the wording, but it's huge in the meaning. It covers too many topics. So Allah Ta'ala said, as in the saying of Nuh alayhi salam, رب اغفر لي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات. Oh my Lord, forgive me and all the male and female believers. Imagine now when you say this dua, Allah Ta'ala will give you a reward for every single believer in the world, whether human or jinn or angel. Allah will give you reward for that. So focus on dua at these moments up until sunset. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.
أحسن الله إليك شيخنا وجزاك الله خير لهذا التذكير الله يحفظكم. شيخنا السؤال, the question inshallah that I have is, what is your advice, Shaykhana? In this day and age, we have a lot of people who they suffer from mental illnesses, anxieties, depression, stress. What are the best ways, the best remedies to cure them in regards to the deen and af'al in regards to the dunya? What are the best methods to cure from anxieties and stress? Allah yabarak fik, afiduna, jazakallah.
The best is dua, to make dua and to do ruqya for them. Ruqya is the best. And of course, dua before ruqya. But before that, people need to be taught how to get the protection from such kind of illnesses. They need to turn back to Allah. They need to single out Allah in worship. They need to obey Allah. They need to learn what is the right of Allah. And they need to learn what is the Sunnah of Rasulullah and stick to these two. And they need to be, to do their best to be pious. Not that they continue headless about the deen, and when the shayateen capture them and torture them, they say that we need ruqya and this. Inshallah, it can help. But before we reach that, we need ourselves to seek the protection for ourselves by doing what I mentioned. Wallahu a'lam.
We take the first question in from YouTube. The questioner says, can you use the word mosque? Before that, is it sunnah to stand up and face the qibla when drinking Zamzam water?
it is not sunnah. It's not sunnah to do that. It's some madhahib like the Hanafis. They believe it is sunnah to drink facing the Kaaba or wherever you are facing the Qibla. And they say that it is sunnah to drink Zamzam in standing position. Neither one is sunnah. In regard to facing Kaaba, that's not, there is no any dalil that it is sunnah. Not even a weak dalil. And in regard to drinking in a standing position, it's a matter of different opinions. Yeah, the Hanafis, they say it is sunnah. But the ulama have different opinions in regard. Some of them say it is permissible, and some say it is haram. So it's not sunnah anyway to drink in standing position, but rather it could be yani, something permissible, not more than that. Wallahu a'lam.
Another question we have. Question is asking, can you use the word mosque instead of masjid? Some people say we would not use the word mosque as it refers to mosquitoes. Just wanted to clarify.
That sounds very strange, refer to mosquitoes. That sounds very strange. لا, يعني, in English language, they call it mosque. The masjid, they call it mosque. But it does not have any relation. I heard this long ago and I tried to dig root about this word, but I found no relation between mosque and mosquito. That's just yani, the name came yani, closer, but there is no any relation between them. And at the end, it is yani, a word said in a language. It can be different in some other languages. I don't know yani, other languages. Maybe in Portuguese or Spanish, or yani, they have different yani, word for it. But the important thing is that yani, it is the place of worship of Muslims. That's it. Wallahu a'lam.
Another question here is asking, what is the ruling on using prayer beads, the misbah?
The tasbih, misbah.
Aywa, naam.
Again, different opinions among the scholars. Some say that it is bid'ah because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Aqid tasbih bil anamil," meaning by fingers. Count your tasbih by fingers. And some say it's only a mean to just count the tasbih. So it is permissible. Different opinions. Shaykh ibn Baz, he says that it's permissible to use. Some other shuyukh like Shaykh Albani say it is bid'ah. But yani, at the end, it is better not to yani, do tasbih with the what do you call it, tasbih or misbah. It is called in Arabic misbah. It is better not to use that, but rather to use your fingers, as the Prophet ﷺ said, فَإِنَّهُنَّ مُسْتَنْطَقَاتٌ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. As in the day of resurrection, they are going to speak, witnessing how many times you did tasbih on them. Wallahu a'lam.
أحسن الله إليك شيخنا وبارك الله فيك. Questioner here asks, and he says, what is the ruling on taking pictures, and does this differ to recording videos?
The ruling on taking photographs by camera is that different opinions. Majority of the scholars, they say it is not permissible. It comes under the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ cursed the musawwirin. And the others, they say the musawwirin that the Prophet ﷺ meant is those who do the art. Like they make the like those who draw the tattoos or those who make the what do you call that, like the idols, or yani something yani like that. But the ones who capture the or do the photograph, they say that it's only capturing the shadow of an object, and that's why there is no skill in it. The skill in it is only how to yani make it yani more what do you call that, more accurate, more, but not, you don't have anything to do, no technique. Yani even the little child, if you just say to him press this button, it will give the same picture of what you do. That's what they say. So now we have seen the two opinions. One say it is forbidden because it comes under the category of tasweer, and the others say it is permissible because it does not have the same criteria of tasweer that was yani at the time when Rasulullah said it is yani, or cursed them. The difference between, but those who said that yani, it is forbidden, they said the video is different because the video is not a fixed picture. Now, yani you don't say it is a video picture. You didn't say video picture. The picture is something yani fixed, and it is something yani movable. Yani it's as you know it, as you know what the video is. So that's why they say it is like the mirror. When you look into the mirror, it reflects your image on it. Wallahu a'lam. And yani better if you don't need it, leave it. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykhana, wa barakallah feek. We have another question here, Shaykhana. What is the ruling on eating food that has less than 2% of alcohol in it? For example, beer battered fish. If one's parents ask them to make it, should they decline?
Make it, yani they make it and they put the alcohol in it?
They haven't mentioned.
But anyway, people do not take alcohol. I don't know why they say they call it alcohol, but they put something like wine, like, isn't it? Anyway, Shaykh like Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, he said the small percentage is allowed, but to be honest, majority say no, because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ma askara kathirun fa qaliluhu haram." What the massive amount of it can make one yani can intoxicate, then the little of it is forbidden. Wallahu a'lam.
Barakallah feek, Shaykhana, wa jazakumullah khair. Next questioner, sister from YouTube, she's asking, Assalamu alaikum. Shaykh, is it permissible to pray 4 rak'ah dhuhr prayer on Friday in congregation?
If you are not in the masjid, if you are not praying behind the khatib, the imam, after Jum'ah khutbah, yes, it is permissible. That is what should be, not permissible, that is what should be. It is not permissible to pray 2 rak'at. If you miss the Jum'ah, then you pray 4 rak'at. No.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykhana. A question here, brothers asking, how can a layman in the West differentiate between students of knowledge and a scholar? Because a lot of Muslims in the West confuse between the two.
Wallahi, the important thing is that he is someone who has knowledge. The knowledge has no limit. As Allah Ta'ala said, وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. every scholar, there is one who has more knowledge than him. So if they are a scholar and student of knowledge, then alhamdulillah. But the problem is to go and take knowledge from someone who you don't know, even if he is a student of knowledge. You don't know if he studied with whom, how long, was he recommended by the scholars or not. If he is someone who's recommended or graduate from an Islamic either university or college, then inshallah he has the basic qualifications to teach. Now, or even maybe he did not go to universities or colleges, but he studied with a scholar, and this scholar he recommended him, whether written recommendation or he was asked about him and he recommended him verbally, saying that he is a good student of knowledge, or you can take knowledge from him. If that is the case, then yes, you take from him. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykhana. Another question here. Sister's asking, when do you have to pay zakah on your clothing business? And how do you do it? Barakallah.
Business is all the same. There is no difference between clothing business and other businesses. Business is business. You see, when you start this business, and every year, same day, you check how much stuff you have in the shop and in the warehouse, and also if you distributed some on deposit, on as a debt, and they pay later, you calculate, or you add all this together, and then take 2.5% of the total. That is the zakah. Wallahu a'lam.
Assalamu alaikum wa jazakumullah khair. A brother here is asking, I have a question in regard to tajweed. How is Shadda on a ra pronounced? And is there a difference between ir or ar or ur?
The Shadda over ra, the Shadda is, what is Shadda? Shadda is two, same letter is pronounced twice. One with haraka, say fatha or kasra or dhamma, as for example, ra, ri, ru. And the other with sukoon. So it would be ra, ri, ra, ri. We, as long as they are the same letter, then we combine them together. We call it Shadda, means we had squeezed them together. Shadda, strength, squeezing. And then it is be pronounced ar, ur. That is the way of how to say the Shadda. Like Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Naam.
A question here says, how do we explain the hadith about Mecca and Medina is safe from a plague and the current coronavirus?
No, the hadith doesn't say plague. Plague is English word. The hadith says ta'un, ta'un. And ta'un is a name of a plague, one of the types of the diseases. Okay? And that is wounds that comes in the neck, begins from the neck, and then it starts going, openings on the skin, and it bleeds, and and then it goes. So it is not that type of disease cannot be found in Mecca and Medina, cannot enter. But any other disease, yes, it can, except for this and the humma, the fever. A fever cannot be seen in Mecca and Medina as a plague, meaning, like for example, the what do you call that? The some of these diseases which is only fever. Now that you cannot see it spreading widely in Medina, only in Medina, because the Prophet ﷺ made dua and Allah Ta'ala removed the fever of Medina to al-Juhfa, the miqat of people of Medina, because it was redundant, no one there. So it is moved there. But the plague can enter, because the hadith doesn't speak about general plagues, but only specific, which is al-ta'un, one of the plagues. Wallahu a'lam.
أحسن الله عليكم جزاكم الله خير. Another question here says, in Salah, before reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, is there anything from the Sunnah to say before this? Second question, is it Sunnah to recite the Taraweeh out loud in the home? عفوا فهمت السؤال يا شيخ على الصوت.
السؤال الأول سمعته.
طيب لحظة. طيب, the first question is, in Salah, before reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, is there anything from the Sunnah to say before this? The second one is,
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه, or أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, and then you recite Surah Al-Fatiha.
نعم جزاك الله خير. والدعاء الاستفتاح
ما سمعت السؤال.
والدعاء الاستفتاح
أيوة, ما إيش يقول السؤال؟
In Salah, before reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, is there anything from the Sunnah to say before this?
يعني
أظن يقصد الصلاة قبل الفاتحة. يعني هل يوجد من الأذكار أو يعني الله أعلم. هذا الذي فهمته.
لا, it's not before Surah Al-Fatiha, لكن it is after the first takbir. That's why it is called dua al-istiftah, meaning the supplication for opening of salah. But Fatiha, you recite Fatiha in every rak'ah. It's not in every rak'ah you say dua al-istiftah. And dua al-istiftah has different format for it. One, the famous one is سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا لا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك تبارك اسمك تعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك. That is one. نعم. And there are many others.
أحسن الله إليك. And the question he attached to this as well was, is it Sunnah to recite Taraweeh out loud in the home or quietly?
Yes, it is Sunnah to recite night prayer loud. Taraweeh or Tahajjud or whatever. It's all the night prayer. The Sunnah is to be recited loud, but not very loud. Just loud enough. Yani. If you are leading Jama'ah, loud enough to make them hear you. If you are by your own, loud enough to hear yourself, and maybe if someone near you or in the room can hear you. That's it.
أحسن الله إليك. And I think this is the last question. I ain't seen a question after this. What is the hukum in consuming gelatin?
Wallahi, gelatin, the ulama have different opinions in regard, but the best ruling on it is if it is taken from something halal, then it is halal. If it is taken from something haram, that is the part where the ulama have differed on it. Better to avoid it. Some ulama said when it is taken from, if it is taken from a living animal of halal meat, then it is halal. If it is taken from dead animal, not slaughtered, but dead animal of halal meat, then it is haram. And some say it is halal. So the best thing is, if it is taken from the lipstick like cow, sheep, camel, whatever, then yeah, use it. If not, better to avoid it, but I can't say it is haram because there are different opinions. And Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah has yani, long research about it. I don't now remember all of it, but yani, one can return to it inshallah.
أحسن الله إليك شيخنا. هذا آخر السؤال الذي مكتوب، ولكن عندي سؤال هل يوجد وقت؟
نعم.
طيب, my question is, nowadays you find a lot of reminders, مواعيد, a lot of short reminder clips on YouTube, but they have in the background humming from like the mouth, sort of, that replicates instruments, and some of them is computerized. Can we call this ma'azif still?
Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan was asked about this, and he said, all that which is, yani when you hear it, you say it is music, then it is music. Whether it is played by the instrument itself or by the computer or whatever, the mean doesn't make difference. But as long as it is music, then it is music. نعم والله أعلم.
جزاك الله خير وأحسن الله إليك شيخنا.
وإليك الله يحفظكم ويبارك فيكم. حياكم الله. إن شاء الله see you tomorrow. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Monday.
نعم.
إن شاء الله.
حفظكم الله.
إن شاء الله Monday from Medina.
الله أكبر. ممتاز. جزاك الله خير شيخنا. صلى الله عليه. إلى اللقاء.
السلام عليكم.
أحسن عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. So brothers and sisters, we continue on Monday, inshallah ta'ala, with another weekday of Q&As. Till then, inshallah ta'ala, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.